Langston Hughes was an American original, a born writer. Born in Joplin, Missouri in 1902, he wrote one of his early poems in high school, a poem that is still often reprinted today, "The Negro Speaks of Rivers." He became a major figure in the Harlem Renaissance in the 1930s, a period when New York City became a center for black writers, artists, and musicians.
Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain, seeking a home where he himself is free.
America never was America to me.
Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great strong land of love, where never kings connive nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above.
It never was America to me.
Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe.
There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free.
Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark? And who are you that draws your veil across the stars?
I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery's scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak.
I am the young man, full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways of satisfying need, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed.
I am the farmer, bondsman to the soil. I am the worker sold to the machine. I am the Negro, servant to you all. I am the people, humble, hungry, mean. Hungry yet today despite the dream, beaten yet today, oh pioneers. I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings in every brick and stone, and every furrow turned that's made America the land it has become.
Oh, I'm the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be my home. For I'm the one who left dark Ireland's shore and Poland's plain and England's grassy lea, and torn from black Africa's strand I came to build a homeland of the free.
The free?
Who said the free? Not me.
Surely not me. The millions on relief today.
The millions shot down when we strike.
The millions who have nothing for our pay.
For all the dreams we've dreamed.
And all the songs we've sung.
And all the hopes we've held.
And all the flags we've hung.
The millions who have nothing for our pay.
Except the dream that's almost dead today.
Oh, let America be America again. The land that never has been yet, and yet must be. The land where every man is free. The land that's mine. The poor man's, Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again.
Sure. Call me any ugly name you choose. The steel of freedom does not stain from those who live like leeches on the people's lives. We must take back our land again. America.
Oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me. And yet I swear this oath,
America will be.
Out of the rack and ruin of our gangster death, the rape and rot of graft and stealth and lies,
we the people must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains and the endless plains, all the stretch of these great green states, and make America again.
One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure as. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, oh, glory, oh, glory. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more weeping, don't you know there's no more weeping over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Now the war is not over, victory is won, and we'll fight on to the finish until it's all done, and we'll cry glory, oh glory, oh glory, oh glory. One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure.
These are the words of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King in a 1957 interview. Now, I realize that there will be difficulties. Whenever you have a transition, whenever you are moving from one system to another, there will be definite difficulties. But I think there is enough brain power, and I think there is enough determination, enough courage and faith to meet the difficulties as they develop.
I often feel like saying, when I hear the question, people aren't ready, that it's like telling a person who is trying to swim, don't jump in that water until you learn how to swim, when actually, you'll never learn how to swim until you get in the water.
These are the words of Melba Patillo Beals, a 15-year-old girl who later wrote a memoir called Warriors Don't Cry, about her experience integrating Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. There must have been 1,000 or so students in that huge room. It was nearing the end of second lunch period, a time when the cafeteria was most crowded. Even above the ear-shattering levels of conversation that blended into a hodgepodge of unsettling noise, I could hear my attackers' comments shouted at me. Over and over, they were saying how they were going to come and get me and what they would do with me. I was trying to ignore them, concentrating instead on a plan for escape, when a milk carton came flying at me, hitting me on the forehead. It was followed by something that pierced my cheek. It took a moment to realize that one of the boys had a bean shooter. I flinched, but braced myself so I would not show a reaction, even though it was painful. I ducked down quickly to avoid a hard white object that came whizzing through the air. I narrowly averted the missile, and when I reached down to examine it, I found a golf ball wrapped in paper. Remembering my discussion with Grandma about playing mind games, I examined it as if it were a precious treasure. I smiled and gushed, loud enough for those sitting closest to me to hear. "It's beautiful. Thank you. It's just what I needed." My hecklers began mumbling among themselves. They were far enough away that I couldn't hear exactly what they were saying, but I watched the puzzled expressions on their faces. They looked at me as if I had lost my mind. "Don't do anything," the voice in my head kept repeating. When the bell rang, the room became even more noisy with people shoving chairs, finding their books, and rushing toward the exit. I desperately wanted to get out of there, but I knew that I couldn't move or the group would start a fight and set me up for expulsion for sure. I was willing to sit in that spot until the end of time rather than risk a fight. I was already wearing Band-Aids on my heels from the heel walkers the day before, and I was sore up and down the backs of my legs from being kicked. I felt I couldn't take any more. I knew I couldn't help but fight back against the next person who attacked me. I pretended to become intensely involved in my book. I was reading about Mr. Gandhi's prison experience and how he quieted his fears and directed his thoughts so that his enemies were never really in charge of him. All at once, I was aware of one of my hecklers coming toward me. "You're so stupid that you gotta study real hard, don't you?" he said in a loud voice. "Thanks for the compliment," I said, looking at him with the most pleasant expression I could muster so he wouldn't believe I was annoyed. "Study hard now, bitch, but you gotta leave this place sometime, then we got you." "Thank you," I said, a mask of fake cheer on my face. He seemed astonished as he slowly started to back away. I felt myself smiling inside. As Grandma India had said, turning the other cheek would be difficult. But for me, it was also the beginning of a lot of fun. Somehow, I had won a bizarre mental contest. My heart slowed its rapid beating, and my hands stopped shaking. I felt safer, even comfortable, as something inside me settled to its center. I had a powerful feeling of being in charge. I was no longer allowing the heckler's behavior to frighten me into acting a certain way. For that moment, I was the one making the decisions about how I would behave. A little choir of voices in my head was singing, "Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah."
These are the words of Malala Yousafzai, a crusader for access to education for all, in her speech at the United Nations in honor of Malala Day in July 2013. We call upon all governments to ensure free, compulsory education all over the world for every child. We call upon all the governments to fight against terrorism and violence, to protect children from brutality and harm. We call upon the developed nations to support the expansion of education opportunities for girls in the developing world. We call upon all communities to be tolerant, to reject prejudice based on caste, creed, sect, color, religion, or agenda, to ensure freedom and equality for women so they can flourish. We cannot all succeed when half of us are held back. We call upon our sisters around the world to be brave, to embrace the strength within themselves and realize their full potential. Dear brothers and sisters, we want schools and education for every child's bright future. We will continue our journey to our destination of peace and education. No one can stop us. We will speak up for our rights and we will bring change to our voice. We believe in the power and the strength of our words. Our words can change the whole world because we are all together, united for the cause of education. And if we want to achieve our goal, then let us empower ourselves with the weapon of knowledge, and let us shield ourselves with unity and togetherness. Dear brothers and sisters, we must not forget that millions of people are suffering from poverty and injustice and ignorance. We must not forget that millions of children are out of their schools. We must not forget that our sisters and brothers are waiting for a bright, peaceful future. So let us wage a glorious struggle against illiteracy, poverty, and terrorism. Let us pick up our books and our pens. They are the most powerful weapons. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Education is the only solution. Education first. Thank you.
Sometimes a piece of paper
Here is an excerpt from a speech delivered by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. in August 1967. And so I conclude by saying today that we have a task, and let us go out with a divine dissatisfaction. Let us be dissatisfied until America will no longer have a high blood pressure of creeds and an anemia of deeds. Let us be dissatisfied until the tragic walls that separate the outer city of wealth and comfort from the inner city of poverty and despair shall be crushed by the battering rams of the forces of justice. Let us be dissatisfied until those who live in the outskirts of hope are brought into the metropolis of daily security. Let us be dissatisfied until slums are cast into the junk heaps of history and every family will live in a decent, sanitary home. Let us be dissatisfied until the dark yesterdays of segregated schools will be transformed into bright tomorrows of quality integrated education.
Let us be dissatisfied until integration is not seen as a problem, but as an opportunity to participate in the beauty of diversity. Let us be dissatisfied until men and women, however black they may be, will be judged on the basis of the content of their character, not on the basis of the color of their skin. Let us be dissatisfied. Let us be dissatisfied until every state capital will be housed by a governor who will do justly, who will love mercy, and who will walk humbly with his God. Let us be dissatisfied. From every city hall, justice will roll down like waters of righteousness, and righteousness like a mighty stream. Let us be dissatisfied until that day when the lion and the lamb shall lie down together, and every man will sit under his own vine and fig tree, and none shall be afraid. Let us be dissatisfied, and men will recognize that out of one blood God made all men to dwell on the face of the earth. Let us be dissatisfied until that day when nobody will shout white power, and nobody will shout black power, but everyone will talk about God's power and the power of humans.
And I must confess, my friends, that the road ahead will not always be smooth. There will still be rocky places of frustration and meandering points of bewilderment.
There will be inevitable setbacks here and there, and there will be those moments when the buoyancy of hope will be transformed into the fatigue of despair.
Our dreams will sometimes be shattered, and our ethereal hopes have blasted. We may again, with tear-drenched eyes, have to stand before the bearer of some courageous civil rights worker whose life will be snuffed out by the dastardly acts of bloodthirsty mobs. But difficult and painful as it is, we must walk out on those days ahead with an audacious faith in its future.
When our days become dreary and low-hovering clouds of despair, and when our nights become darker than 1,000 midnights, let us remember that there is a creative force in this universe working to pull down gigantic mountains of evil, a power that is able to make a way out of no way and transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows. Let us realize that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice.
Sleep, sleep tonight, and may your dreams be realized. If the thundercloud passes rain, so let it rain down on him. So